Hello again, everybody. It's Johnny, and while we're on the subject of things that suck, seriously, the government shutdown. The government is technically back up, right? Is that what I'm hearing? That the government is back to working? Sorry, I tried to say that with a straight face. So is anybody else bothered by the fact that the government is acting like two frat houses full of infants? Here's the thing with the 2013 government shutdown. It started off as partial shutdown, but I mean, basically the government hasn't actually been doing anything all year. So it's been shut down since the second term of Obama, because Obama's got his ideas, but he doesn't actually, do anything, and then Congress comes in, and Congress is all like, well, we don't want you to do that, so we're not going to let you. Everybody meets at this roadblock and yells at each other from across the aisles, and then, lo and behold, shit doesn't get done. The thing that bothers me the most about it is, I think, the fact that they were trying to, put pressure on the American populace, almost. It's not like they were blaming us, but it was like they were trying to get us to push the other side to make a decision. The GOP and the Republicans and the Democrats and the liberals and the conservatives were all, doing their thing and, yelling at each other and, fighting, and this is what I imagine it looks like when they're fighting. Well, we're going to close all the historical monuments, and then you're not going to be able to go into the national parks because we have this partial shutdown going on, which really amounted to cops standing next to fences that had signs that said, due to the partial shutdown of the government, this monument is closed. Meanwhile, all of the tourists went past the fence and the cops and kept taking pictures of the monuments. Look at these dissidents just taking shameful pictures of national monuments, because that really meant a spit's worth in hell. It would be super easy for me to blame Obama or any of the members in Congress. But that would require taking a side, which in essence would be saying that the other side was right. And I don't believe either of them are. I mean, you gotta figure, it's bad when even, Republicans are arguing with other Republicans. The conservative Republicans were arguing with moderate Republicans, saying stuff like, you undercut what it was that we were trying to get passed in the Senate, and there were so many proposals of so many bills, and nobody wanted to compromise on anything. What both sides don't seem to realize is that a compromise means everybody gives a little. Nobody actually, wins in a compromise. That's why it's called a compromise, because you compromise what you originally wanted for the sake of the American people, maybe, the whole nation. There were some Republicans in the House who were getting flack from the more conservative ones who were saying, I don't want to name names, McConnell, but they were saying stuff like the shutdown was not a smart play by the Republicans in order to try and, end the Affordable Care Act. They were basically trying to force the Democrats' hands, which was dumb, because the Democrats were all like, well, we're not moving. So they reached an impasse, and then we're left with a government that can't agree on anything. Basically, it was a bunch of territorial pissing contests, and nobody was actually interested in making headway on any of the issues. The biggest issue, of course, being the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. What are my opinions on Obamacare? I find it stupid that the opposition to Obamacare had to make stuff up. The death panels never existed, and as far as, I believe it was August of 2012, there was still a pretty big majority, well, it wasn't a majority, I think it was 35 to 40% of Americans still believe the death panel myth. I also find it a little bit disheartening that people would resort to lying about illegal immigrants would be able to get free healthcare because they're explicitly denying healthcare to illegally or alien status immigrants in America, and that Congress somehow was exempt from the ACA, which was also untrue because Congress would have to have its own healthcare that was approved by the law, and I believe, now I'm going to get this stupid thing right, they weren't able to use the current government thing. What was that called? I believe it's called the Federal Employees Health Benefits Program, I think. Yes, I believe that's what it's called. I stand by my statements that I think the government is full of infantile, greedy, sloppily organized Congress lemmings. I'm envisioning, like, the Disney conspiracy theory that, like, they pushed the lemmings off the cliff and, like, filmed it and then said, here, look, this is real. That's what I feel like Congress is doing now. It's kind of like, here's the fiscal cliff. Poof! Ah, we're falling! See, we told you the debt ceiling needed to be raised.